Okay, good afternoon, Scranton. It is Friday. It is Good Friday for
This meeting is being recorded.
for those of you that celebrate. Um, this is a tough day. I'm worried that we're going to continue to see numbers of cases go up here in Scranton and Lackawanna County. We've seen that in our region, and just we're doing everything we can here at the city to be in touch with the hospitals, with the nursing homes, our first responders. My two fire chiefs have done a tremendous job of continuing to respond to requests for PPE, and we're trying to fill in the gaps as best we can. I'm really appreciative to Governor Wolf, who has put together, Governor Wolf and Dr. Rachel Levine, the health secretary, have now put together a statewide procurement effort to make sure that we're moving resources around the state. But I would say that at the local level, I'm really proud of everyone here at the city, at the county. Everybody's really working hard and working together to make sure that we get everyone what they need. Last night we got some extra masks to one entity. This morning we got extra gowns to one entity. We're being scrappy and trying to do everything we can. And I know the same goes for all of you out there. I know that it is a really tough time. People are worried about, people are worried about feeding their families, and it's really hard to see, but we are going to do everything we can and get everyone what they need. It is unbelievable, the outpouring of support for our neighbors, and we will continue to direct you to the resources you need, try to do what we can to make sure that our food banks, our great services like Friends of the Poor and Meals on Wheels, continue to get the cash they need to buy that food to distribute that out to you guys. So I know it's a holiday for many of you out there. It's hard to celebrate in a different way usually. I know I would be on my way with my husband and baby. We'd be actually, we were hoping we'd be introducing the baby this weekend to my husband's side of the family up in Connecticut. That's not happening. But that's okay. We're just doing it a different way. We're going to go on Zoom and do something together that way, but I know it's really difficult not to be together. We have to stay the course, though. We really, really have to stay home right now. We are far from a peak here in Lackawanna County. We're weeks, maybe even 4 to 10 weeks away from a peak, so we've got to keep doing what we are doing by staying home. It's a sacrifice. I know we miss our family, know we miss our friends, miss going out to, grab dinner with each other, miss going out to play on the playground. But we just got to keep doing what we're doing. I'm really thrilled today to be joined by our Adela Arceli. She is going to join us to give a message in Spanish. I speak some Spanish, but I won't do that to you guys out there. Adela is going to make sure that we're reaching out to all of our community out there in Scranton. Adela owns multi-service client services in Scranton. And Adela, I'll kick it over to you to speak to the city.
Buenas tardes, Scranton. ¿Cómo están? Espero que se encuentren muy bien en sus hogares. Estamos aquí el día de hoy para prevenir que se sigan infectando más personas. Lo más importante es tratar de quedarse en casa. Cuando nos quedamos en casa, salvamos vidas, salvamos la vida de nuestro esposo, esposa y hijos. Nosotros aquí en el condado de Lackawanna estamos haciendo todo lo posible para que todo el mundo pueda tener comida y con otras organizaciones aquí para que nadie pase ningún tipo de trabajo. Vamos a tener información también, si alguna persona necesita formación para poder hacer los exámenes o cualquier cosa que necesite, vamos a tener información, lo vamos a dejar aquí abajo. Y si usted se siente enfermo, usted llama al 911 y ellos vienen a su casa. Por favor, también si se siente enfermo, no hace hacer cuarentena. Si usted se siente enfermo, no ande por la calle. Más importante, aunque no esté enfermo, es mejor quedarse en casa para evitar que el virus siga regándose. Gracias. Y Dios me lo bendiga. Hablamos luego.
Thank you, Adela. I really appreciate it. I know that especially this weekend with Easter, a lot of our neighbors in the Latinx community are want to practice their faith together this weekend, and we have to do it remotely. And I know it's hard for everyone, but I really appreciate your message and you helping to spread the word throughout the community. And we've been really appreciative of Adela and everyone out in our census effort, helping to get the word out about the census as well. So Adela, thank you for being here with us today. So guys, all really the same. It is just about staying home. It is about keeping that social distance. It's about wearing the mask when you go outside. Wear a mask. A t-shirt works, a bandana works, a surgical mask works, a mask that neighbors maybe neighbor around you making masks, you can call around, or maybe they can call you. We know that there's a lot of great people out there making masks for each other, so we appreciate that. If you do need a mask, if you want to email us, we can try to get you, or call us, we can try to get you a mask, or get you connected with somebody who can bring you one. So 348-4101 is our main phone number, and the Scranton 311 at scrantonpa.gov. That's the email if you want to do that. We certainly can try to get you to somebody in the community who can drop a mask off for you. I wanted to just update's still the same in terms of testing. You've got to call before you go. Got to call 1-877-PA-HEALTH or your primary care physician. Just call your doctor if you are having symptoms. You could also call the Geisinger line, 570-284-3657. Unfortunately, testing isn't where we'd like it to be anywhere in the country. It's still you still need to be exhibiting those symptoms. So call those phone numbers. Those are on our Facebook and website. 1-877-PA-HEALTH is the Department of Health. That's the main one. Or call your doctor or Geisinger, 284-3657. So we continue to need tests, be pushing for tests. The hospitals, I promise you, are working as hard as they can to get everything that they need to get those tests. We do not at this point have a testing site in Scranton or in this region. Potentially we'd have one come online at some point. But we don't have one now, so please continue to call that number and just continue what you're doing. And I want to enforce the mask thing again. It really is about, I'm wearing a mask to protect you, and you're wearing a mask to protect me. So it really is about protecting your neighbors, because if I have this, but I don't know I have it, if I'm going out without a mask, I might be giving it to somebody. So please do that for your neighbors. Wear that mask if you need to go to the store. And I'm so grateful to our business owners who've been flexible with us throughout this, of course, but flexible with us with the recommendation to social distance and keep that 5 customers per 1,000 square feet. We really appreciate them being flexible. It's helpful for them, I hope, helpful for their employees to feel safe, and helpful for us as customers when we do go in once in a while for those essential goods, that we feel safe going to those. So everything stays the same going into the weekend. Unfortunately, we had to pare down the parks, take the basketball hoops down, take down the volleyball nets. If you've got to go out this week and get some fresh air, that's okay. But really, social distance. Your whole family doesn't need to go at the same time if you can avoid it. Don't be crowding on the pathways. Really be using those social distance practices. We all know what to do by now. Please do that, because it really is now. It's now counts even more than it did a few weeks ago. I think it's really, I really can't emphasize enough that this is the time that we've got to be doing this. Even though I know we're getting some cabin fever, we've got to stay home. Even as we might see on the news that New York City is starting to flatten, that doesn't mean that we're on the same curve as them. We're weeks behind New York. So let's continue to do what we've been doing. I think that we have seen fewer cases than we would have had we not been really aggressively social distancing these past weeks, but we've got to keep going. Okay, so one thing that we've gotten, I think this isn't the questions, we've heard group complaints about people littering gloves and masks. Please don't do that. That is just a way that disease could spread. I would ask you to not litter anyway in a daily routine, but especially now, that means that somebody else probably the sanitation workers, the DPW workers on my team, they're already putting themselves in harm's way. Please don't increase the danger around them by littering. Our DPW workers have been working their normal shifts all throughout the weeks to keep our city clean. We are deeply grateful for them. If you're out littering at these places, then you're putting the DPW, the Parks and Rec staff, you're putting them at risk because they have to clean up after you. So please, this is really the time to be cognizant of your actions and how they impact others. So volunteer opportunities. Weinberg Food Bank needs help packing boxes. CEO peoplehelpingpeople.org. The Keystone Mission is looking for volunteers, keystonemission.org. Meals on Wheels at 346-2421. United Neighborhood Centers, 346-0759, extension 109. There are all ways that you can help. Another way that you can help is by making an appointment to donate blood at 1-800-Red Cross. And so check on your neighbors. And for groceries, I know nextdoor.com/helpmap is one way. And I know that there's an effort out there to be matching need with volunteers, and so we'll have more information on that when that effort is live. We'll get that out to you guys as soon as we can. Let me try to do that right now, actually. Okay, we'll see if we can get an answer on that. For social services, dial 211. There's a couple of daily food access points. Friends of the Poor food pantries at Jackson Terrace and Valley View Terrace, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 12. Again, Monday through Friday, 9 to 12. Friends of the Poor at Jackson Terrace and Valley View Terrace. The Keystone Mission is doing food Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 4 at West Olive Street. And there's a new drive-through food giveaway on Wednesday, April 15th from 2:30 to 5:30. That's up at McDade Park. On-site registration is available, again, drive-through only. So that's in another food drive-through Wednesday, April 15th from 2:30 to 5:30 at McDade Park. And we want to always, really continue to stress, and I know I got a little emotional earlier, really, now is the time to raise your hand. Do not feel shame about asking for help, whether that's for your mental health, for the getting food to your family at the dinner table, or whether that's applying for unemployment, whatever it is. The Pennsylvania Department of Health has a new Department of Human Services, has a new COVID support line. You can call 855-284-2494. 855-284-2494 to get connected to mental health services. I've been open on all these town halls with you all. I'm having really intense nightmares. I think read a lot of articles and talked to my own family and friends about it. It's a really, really tough thing, even if we're holding it together, physically and mentally on a day-to-day basis. That doesn't mean that we're not all feeling an impact in some way. So if you need help, please call 855-284-2494. That's to get connected to services. If it's an emergency, of course, 911. There's also the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255, or you can text TALK talk to 741741. Let's see. And okay, on that with unemployment, the filing deadlines have been extended. So I wanted to read this to you guys. Because maybe it's just easier to read it. The status of claims processing. So if you opened your unemployment claim between March 15th and March 21, the state is working quickly to mail a PIN so you can file. In case you did not receive your PIN by Saturday, April 4th, you will still be able to file a claim for weeks March 21, March 28, and April 4. From the time you were first able to file your biweekly claims. Continue filing every other week as long as you are still unemployed. Okay. If you opened your claim between March 22 and March 28, your first day to file will be Sunday, April 5th, so last Sunday. If you haven't received your PIN, you'll have the opportunity to file for your benefits for an additional 2 weeks. They'll make sure claims ending March 28th, April 4th, April 11th, and April 18th are available for you to complete your biweekly claims through April 24th. Sorry, this is a little complicated. We'll put this up on the website and make sure you have the link. Claims opened March 29th and later will be ensuring that you're able to file biweekly for 4 weeks back instead of just 2, so that you don't miss benefits. So that's on the unemployment piece. We'll get that information up, and I believe it's uc.pa.gov. To apply for unemployment. Megan, if you could text me the phone number, that would be great. And in terms of the federal programs, residents, we're hearing from the federal government, residents should start receiving stimulus checks next week. And that's pretty exciting. So hope that comes through. That could be really helpful to all of us, but especially to our neighbors who've lost jobs or been furloughed during this time. So we're hoping that comes through. Let's see if there's anything else. Yes. Governor Wolf announced that schools are closed for the rest of the year. No surprise, unfortunately. And classes continue to be held remotely, but no one will be returning to those buildings. I know, and I'll just go right into questions. I know Anne Marie had asked, can we find a way to still do high school graduations? I connected with Superintendent McTiernan today. She's working hard to find solutions to be able to celebrate the class of 2020. So I know the school district's working hard to do that, and hopefully they'll be able to come up with something. Of course, they have to follow all of those CDC guidelines. We know things are changing. We know, as I said, we're nowhere near peak here, so we've got to continue to do a great job, and it will impact our seniors, and it's just crummy. I'm sorry. It's really, really tough. So those kids out there that are really sacrificing, we appreciate it. And I know the superintendents and the school board will do whatever they can for you guys. So we'll go on to some other questions. Stacy wrote in saying Sam's Club isn't practicing social distancing guidelines set by the mayor or the governor. Can the city enforce the rules? So Stacy, I saw that and reached out to the mayor of Dixon City, and I'll work with him and see if we can't reach out and see what's going on there. I would think that Sam's Club, being that Walmart, they're the same company, and Walmart has strict rules, so that's a surprise to me. So we'll try to get to the bottom of that. Again, so appreciate all of our business owners in Scranton who've been cooperating this week and they were already doing a great job, but continuing to work with us and protect their employees and their customers. Rose asked an interesting question. Do you think that restaurant employees should have to wear masks and gloves? On the gloves piece, that is part of what they're supposed to do whenever handling food. So the gloves piece is very important. The mask piece is, I'd go back to our recommendations, and that following the governor last Friday, we made that recommendation formally on that every time somebody leaves the house that you wear a mask. We made that recommendation formally on Monday. It's really important that people consider others, and I would say it's no different for employees as it would be for customers. So I really, really encourage everyone. Again, a bandana works, a t-shirt works if you don't have a handmade mask or other type of mask. I will say if you have a stash of surgical masks, please let us know so we can get those to a nursing home or a healthcare facility or a hospital that needs it. So the homemade masks are perfectly fine for those of us just out in the community as we pop into the store. But yeah, I would say, Rose, I really hope that employees and employers are working hard to get masks for everyone. I think it's important that we're doing that, and that restaurants and retail facilities are setting a good example. So I know it's also been hard. Let me say I've been living this here in my own household. That an order comes down, you don't magically have a whole stack of masks for your entire business. So there might be stores that you go in. Well, I hope you're not going to very many stores, but if you go to a store this weekend to grab something that you need, and not all the employees are wearing masks, like, don't need to panic. That store owner probably is trying to get masks, and maybe that shipment hasn't come in yet. So let's all work together But yes, please wear those masks, whether you're the employee or the customer. And please continue to show respect and gratitude to each other. This is a time that we're all fighting this together, and really be respectful of each other. And I know anxieties get really high, tensions can get high when we're worried about ourselves and our families. But please be respectful of those timelines. Not everybody can get access to a mask right away. We're all trying to figure this out, and it's going to take a little while for everything to be exactly the way it needs to be in terms of like, I don't know if there is such a thing as perfect social distancing, but just show that respect and gratitude. And I definitely hope people are doing it. Let's really, really concentrate on it. But please don't be letting our anxieties get the best of us and disrespecting our neighbors. It's time for love right now, and not criticism. Do the police, fire, and Public Works have necessary equipment? Yes. Our departments do have what they need right now. We're continuing. We've got a great team that's been working on our own supplies here for more than a month now. So we're doing okay there. Again, if you know of a source, or you know of something that could be helpful, I know we had a call in this week about surgical masks that someone had. We were able to connect them with the hospital. That was fantastic. So if you have come across something, or you're able to source something, you can give our main line a call, or email us, and we'll be able to get that to a destination in the healthcare system that really needs it. Okay, Patricia, yeah, thank you for pointing out people are throwing masks and gloves on the ground. Encourage them to stop. Can't agree with you more, Patricia. That endangers the DPW workers that are on our team, and that is not fair to them or their families. So please be respectful and throw your masks, glove, anything in the trash where it belongs. And let's see, Kevin asks, can you make the churches close? So people are congregating in the neighborhood outside of the church. Can you make them close? We ordered on Monday. We were trying to get ahead of Easter weekend and Passover too. Sent out a proclamation recommending to all of the faith-based organizations that they hold all remote services only, and do change whatever they need to change to do things remotely. Maybe it's over the phone. There's some rites and rituals maybe they need to do over the phone, or over the computer, or through the window, if need be. But we just can't be doing that. So we are, Kevin, we are very much aware. That's why that recommendation went out very specifically, and we are going to be watching that this weekend, and really hoping that everybody is protecting themselves and their neighbors and their congregations. So if you get a report of something, you can give us a call. Don't call 911. There's no need to call 911, but you can go ahead and give us a call, and we'll check it out. All right, so let me switch gears over to the stuff coming in right now as we speak. Let's see. Just give me 1 second. Got a lot of, okay. Sorry, as you guys know, doing this live is great. It also means I have other stuff coming in. Okay, so Megan, thank you. Unemployment, Pennsylvania unemployment. You can email UC, so U for unemployment, C for claim, uchelp@pa.gov, uchelp@pa.gov. That's for unemployment questions, or call 877-978-1295. So unemployment claims, 877-978-1295. I know that's been a frustrating, more than frustrating situation across the country. So keep trying, and we will give you any updates as we possibly can if we get resources that can be helpful. Okay, so Steve asks, are hospitals at capacity? No, they are not at capacity. They're not. They haven't had to dip into their contingency plans, and that's why It's so very, very important that we continue to do what we're doing. I feel I'm not a medical professional, obviously, but I've been talking to a lot of them. I feel confident saying that we have somewhat decreased the steep of that curve here in Scranton, in Lackawanna County, because we've all come together by staying apart and worked so hard. Hospitals are not at capacity, but we have to keep working hard to make sure that remains the case. We've got to stay below that capacity. They have contingency plans in place, but supplies are not abundant in any area of our country. They're not abundant anywhere in Pennsylvania or here. So we've got to keep those numbers low by staying home. Got a question from Glenda. When do you expect a peak? Again, I'm not the medical professional, but in speaking with a variety of them, I'd say anywhere from 4 to 10 average of what people tell me. And this is all modeling. There's no set data, right? There's nothing that says this is exactly it. No one knows. But we are trailing many weeks behind our neighbors in New York City, and so we're really not out of the woods by any means. So we've got to keep doing what we're doing. And I do want to remind everyone, though, that we're not New York City. We're not the densely populated city that New York is. So there's no need to panic that we are going to see the level of New York City, but we also want to avoid that. So we've got to please keep staying home. But what that means, of course, that we're not at peak yet, and it's not tomorrow, and it's not next week. We've got a long road ahead of us, and so we've just got to stay calm, plan, and like we keep saying, raise your hand. Don't feel ashamed if you need help. That's what those food drives are for. We're going to do our best to get food and other resources out in the community as best we can. It's a challenge for everyone, and you guys have been. I don't know. I'm just so proud of everyone for doing what they're doing. It's when I talk on here about closing on the basketball hoops and things like that. I mean, it's a very small percentage of people who aren't listening, but we've got to get that to zero. Okay. All right. So, are there, Abby or Megan, any other questions I haven't answered? Let me hop into the. Okay, so Diane asked why laundromats are still open. Oh, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, so Diane, laundromats are essential. People have got to have clean clothes. So this came up here with my team at the very beginning of this. We were talking about laundromats, and people, if you're you're an essential worker, you're a healthcare worker, you're a nurse, you've got to have clean clothes. You're firefighter, police officer, sanitation worker, you've got to have clean clothes. So we got to keep those open, and people have got to use social distancing practices though there. And if if you're worried about something there, give us a call and we can try to work with that business owner, see if there's anything we can do to be helpful. On Tuesday, the lawn care company that up here that takes care of our condos at Summit Point started right when I was on the town hall. It was a moment of laughter that I really needed. I since then looked into it, and lawn care companies, landscape companies, are deemed essential, which talk to my team, and that makes sense that we don't want lawns getting overgrown. That's its own health hazard. I would ask, though, lawn care and landscaping companies not to do the non-essential stuff. As much as I want to see all the flowers planted for spring, the fewer different pieces that we do of landscaping, the better. And so cutting the grass and trimming the weeds and making sure we can see if we're taking a turn outside of our driveways to go to the store, we got to be able to see. However, I really hope that those companies are balancing that and realizing what's essential and what's not. But laundromats and landscaping, those are essential by the governor's order. So that's, Diane, that's the situation there. Let's see. Oh, okay. Craig has a good idea to close the streets to vehicle traffic to open space for walking and biking at a social distance. That's a great idea, and let me circle that back. My worry there, my first instinct is that redirecting any traffic right now when we're wanting to make sure our paramedics and fire and police can get everywhere they might need to go quickly. Wouldn't want to divert traffic during this particular time, but it's a good idea, and I appreciate the idea very much. And this is why we're doing this, is to get this information flow between us and you guys, and just have this conversation so that we're thinking through ideas. Maybe that's something that we could do like one day, or maybe it's something we could do after this is over. I know I lived in a place for a couple years where on Sundays they blocked off one of the main thoroughfares, and it was awesome. It was really cool. It became like a makeshift park every Sunday, and that was really cool. Let me just see if there's anybody else asking questions. I will, yeah, do my best to get information. Like I said, there's a new match program that's I think Representative Kyle Mullins is helping out with, matching volunteers to need throughout the county. So I will make sure that we get that information out to you. And let's see. Okay. Joanne asked a good question about okay. Joanne is asking about small private production companies with employees working elbow to elbow. So what we are doing there is my team's actually this week been trying to get the best answers back to back into the community of what we can do there. So we will get information out to you. Joanne, if you can email us at scranton311@scrantonpa.gov, we will get some information back to you today. Trying to get you guys the best resources there and figure out what it is that we should be doing in that situation. So we want to be helpful, but some of these things get a little bit tricky, and we want to make sure that we're doing doing right by all the employees, and also making sure that what we do is enforceable and feasible in terms of the business side of things. So we're trying to work with everybody to make sure that things are actually feasible. And that's a challenge that we always see. I think government and business, there's sometimes always inherent tension, but it doesn't have to be super serious. I think if we approach it in a way where we're trying to get everybody in a situation where everybody feels safe and everyone feels that they can implement what we're asking them to implement, that's the way we should approach all situations. So Joanne, please email scranton311@scrantonpa.gov. We are working on that as we speak. So thank you on that. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Ella asks, are novelty bakeries considered essential if they don't carry bread and just do desserts? So my understanding is that any food purveyors are able to stay open. You have to, I think through Governor Wolf and his, like, the weight that's on him. I know that when they did the first non-essential order, there were, I don't even know how many tens of thousands of exemption requests. So it's really tough to be the governor right now. It's no walk in the park, no social distance walk in the park to be mayor either. But yeah, Ella, those are deemed essential. And again, we ask that people be really limiting what they're out there getting and doing to the essentials. We also want our wonderful businesses to survive. So that's why, having that takeout, doing that quickly, getting in and out. We do really want people to still be able to have a birthday cake, even though probably you and your spouse or your grandma sitting together because you live together with the cake, maybe on a phone call with the rest of the family. But those are still open, and that's part of the exemption. William asked about Greyhound buses. Greyhound has since overnight Saturday night suspended service to Scranton, so there's no Greyhound bus service coming into Scranton. Oh boy. Okay, and we just ask folks we're trying on Facebook. This is something I kind of want to say anyway. Please be respectful of this platform. This is a platform that we are using. We're trying our very best to bring your city government to you and have these conversations. Please be respectful of the city employees and each other as neighbors, and please don't be discriminatory in your comments. This is meant to help people. People are coming onto our site and our Facebook. They're coming onto these town halls to hear about how to file for unemployment, where to get food, where to get a mask. This is really serious stuff. So please don't bring any of your baggage into the conversation. It's not necessary. Okay, and yeah, Brian, absolutely. Let me repeat the unemployment info. We'll see if it's, yep. So unemployment, you call 877-978-1295, 877-978-1295, or you can email uchelp@pa.gov. So that's the unemployment information there. Let's see. Okie dokie. So, I don't know, Megan and Abby, you guys want to text me anything else that I should? Let's see. Oh, Lisa, interesting. Courthouse closed. I was summoned to appear for jury duty on Monday. I imagine they sent that out to you before before our current situation. I will find out for you. We'll find out what to do with that, and if there's a number or something. So Lisa, if you want to, actually, again, it was super helpful if you email us, scranton311@scrantonpa.gov. That way we can get you an answer back on that. That's nothing about the situation is funny, but some of the stuff you can smile a little bit because it's kind of funny. Okay, George says the kids are still playing basketball. Can you close the courts? We have shut down the basketball hoops. We've covered up all of the hoops. So I will check in with Brian, our Parks and Rec director, but those hoops are shut down. It's possible that, I don't know if they're playing, maybe they're playing at one of the schools or something, one of the private schools. We'll check around on that, but we've certainly shut that down. And George, to the other piece of that question, we haven't wanted to shut down the parks. We really want people to be able to still use that social distance and go out. I would say, Central Park in New York never shut down, and you've got people running and walking their dogs around a literal field hospital. Hopefully we don't have to shut down the parks. I really want to let for people. I want people to be able to protect their physical and mental health. But really important that you maintain that social distance, that kind of 6 feet, about, if you're, I don't know, my arm span is almost 6 feet, making sure that you're keeping that social distance. Anything else that is out there? Okay. You're sharing. Okay, looks like Victory Gardens. Danny is sharing that Victory Gardens, they're working on having food for the community there. So Danny, please get that info. You can email that in, or if you put it, you can share it on Facebook on the Messenger to get that to my team, and we can get that onto the next piece. Okay. Yeah, so please, Danny, get that out, and we'll make sure to keep doing this. And again, I love this forum because then I can see in live time what amazing work you guys are all doing. So I really appreciate it. And Trisha, on the crossing guards question, I know that we've answered that question through our team. I don't want to answer it wrong on here. It's not something that I've personally been working on, But Trisha, if you can email scranton311@scrantonpa.gov, I know that we have an answer for you. So please email us your question. We really appreciate it. Okay. It looks like so far we've kind of gotten, I'll stay on for another couple minutes if anything else comes up that you guys want to cover. Let's see. I wish, okay. Christy, I've been in touch with the mayor of Wilkes-Barre. I'm not sure exactly what the recommendations they have in place are, but I know he's working really, really hard. Mayor Coussat in Hazleton has a really tough thing on his shoulders. I'm in touch with Mayor Lombardo in Pittston. We're all trying to work together. Not all of us have the same solutions. I did want to speak to that. I again don't want to put a curfew in Scranton. I don't think that's what our issue is. Our issue isn't a certain time of day. Social distancing isn't supposed to, it's just not the solution. It's not the problem we have, so that's not the solution in my view. So I don't plan to put a curfew on. I don't believe that that's the solution right now. Social distance, if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing with social distance, then it's okay to go to the store. I'd actually rather have someone go to the store at 9 o'clock at night than at 6 o'clock at night when it's busier. That actually enables us, having those stretched out hours a little bit do help us be able to stretch things out. So I don't believe a curfew is what we should be doing. I think that Mayor Coussat in Hazleton's doing a great job with a really tough situation and seeing the spike in cases down there. But I just don't think that's the solution that we need up here in Scranton. Let's see. Okay, anything else? Let me see. Okay. Oh, and there's another email to if you want to post messages to get your resources out there. ECTV has a bulletin board, and you can email that as well. So email us and email the ECTV email to get your messages out. That for Victory Gardens, for example, Danny. So it's let me make sure I have this right. Yeah. So bulletin board, so BBECTV, so B as in boy, ECTV@gmail.com. That will get your message up to ECTV. And I would also reach out to WNEP, to WBRE, to those news stations, to the Scranton Times. If you have resources, get those out to them. We're in constant touch with the press to get things to them as well. But if it comes for you, try to get it out there, get it up there so that people know. And we'll put it on our page so that people know where they can get resources. Okay. Let's see. Not sure. Okay. Okay. So questions on the local jail. So local jail is going to be different than the county jail, county prison. It's a little bit complicated. We can maybe we can have on Tuesday. Maybe we should have someone from corrections speak to what's happening there. I think that could be useful. I know it's a very serious problem throughout the country that we're seeing COVID spread through the different prisons. That's not an issue here in terms of the city of Scranton and our city jail. That's a very different process and a very different type of issue than it is in those county and state and federal facilities. So it's a good point to bring up. I appreciate that, and we'll try to maybe get somebody to speak to that on Tuesday when we come back on. It's really it's tough out there, and there's so much. And I am deeply appreciative of all of you out there doing what you're doing and also raising issues with us because we can't do it all ourselves. I would never tell you I had all the answers. I certainly don't have the answers. I have some, and I'm trying to get all that information to you, but I'm really appreciative of the back and forth that we have as a community right now. And we're working as hard as we can to keep you safe and implement what we can to keep people safe. We're also doing our best to keep our police, our fire, public works workers safe, please do respect them by, don't call 911 if it's not an emergency. Don't, don't be going out. Don't be congregating at the park. Don't have a church service this weekend. Please don't make my police have to go out and tell you guys to stop, because that endangers the police force and their families. That's not fair. There's a lot of families out there that have a healthcare worker in them. I know there's a lot of city employees, police, fire, who have, their partner, their spouse is a nurse. We're already really, really sacrificing out there, and so please be cognizant of that. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then that impacts others. So with that, let me just make sure there's no, yeah, let's see. From my Parks and Rec director, Brian, thank you. No basketball courts, no tennis courts, no nets and hoops are up right now. So we shouldn't be seeing any games on city property. Let us know if you do see that, though, if we need to make a call and request maybe a private entity to do the same. So I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Alrighty, so we'll get you guys more information, like I said, on that sharing that volunteer match program. We'll find out and get more information on the issue with the prisons. Again, national issue. People are trying to find solutions. We'll try to get you what we can on that. The person who got the jury duty request, email us. We'll get back to you. On the food front, I know that trying to get to where we can do something really special for the food, getting more food resources to our community. So stay tuned for that. We've got, it's government. We have a little red tape, but that's okay. We can work with it. I have patience, and we're going to do what we can as quickly as we can to help boost the resources of food in our area. There is no shame in asking for help. I can't stress that enough. Watching the lines for food here locally and across the country is making me tear up again. So I should probably not do that. It's hard. It's hard out there, but you guys are doing a great job. Please continue to do a great job. Continue to communicate with us. We appreciate it, and celebrate the holidays this week and this weekend with your families remotely. Thank you for that sacrifice. Thanks to all the students out there who are bummed out considerably, and I feel for you there. But we've got to do what we got to do to stay safe and save lives. So thank you all very much. Thanks, Adela, for getting that message out in Spanish. We'll be circulating that widely. And with that, thank you. Stay home, save lives.